ICE responds to AOC's bold threat after Dems storm facility. This is a suggestion via a channel member. Let's go ahead and jump into this immediately. Let's see if this takes us, guys. This happened again? Or was this the same incident?
So from Massachusetts to this scene in New Jersey on Friday where immigration's hitting a flashpoint in Newark. This is body cam video showing three House Democrats confronting ICE agents outside a detention facility there. The DHS saying that arrests are still on the table after that chaos.
Definitely.
The acting ICE Director Todd Lyons.
Okay, guys, really quickly. So when it came to that specific incident, what's interesting is that this type of footage was not shown. All we saw basically was them speaking outside and crying. That was it. While saying, oh, the mayor got arrested. They didn't say that there was a gigantic kerfuffle here. All right. They didn't say all of that. They said none of that. They said there were some issues here, but they tried to minimize it. It looks like they were sitting here trying to assault the ICE officers. If that's the case, then, bro, yeah, arrests are not off the table here.
Here in studio to talk about this, and good morning to you. Got a lot of things we want to sort out here. Democrats claim they have congressional oversight, and they're on a visit for oversight, and they have the right to conduct that under federal law. You say to them what, based on what we know now?
I say 100% they do. That is in their purview. They do have congressional oversight. What we ask for is for them to do it the right way. Notify us in advance.
I said that.
Don't make a scene. Don't put my office in jeopardy. Don't put the men and women who work there at jeopardy. The protesters who are out there. Just do it the right way.
So where in this case did they cross the line in your view?
In my view,
they came with no notice.
To force their way in, just trying to make a political stunt out of this, really, it goes above and beyond. ICE is all about transparency.
Look at that,
Today we were there, had a tour of the facility with several media outlets. We want people to see what we're doing. But when you go ahead and you try to storm your way in, when you try to just bring cameras, bully my officers and agents, that's just not the right way to do it. Let's work together. Let's have that oversight, but let's do it in a professional manner, not a political stunt.
So the mayor of Newark, Baraka, he had this to say on MSNBC on Saturday.
All right, let's go.
We don't know what's going on in there. We don't know who's in there. They don't allow inspections. They're not doing, they're not complying with the local laws. They don't have a certificate of occupancy in our argument. And we were in court arguing these matters. We usually solve those problems in America through the court of law. They don't want to use the court. They want to use a decree. They believe that what they say goes, that we have a kingdom here and not a democracy. And that's the problem.
Okay, guys, that's definitely not the case about what's happening here. So now, listen, they do absolutely have the ability to go check out this building. Fact here. No one is arguing this, obviously, right? The main issue here is that they did not give enough time, let's say, to say, hey, listen, guys, we're coming this day. This is what's happening here. They obviously wanted to basically surprise them, similar to how a lot of these audit channels do to government structures and things like that. But guys, you can't run into a high security scenario like this and just expect to be let in immediately. All right. And then demanding it at the same time here. You do have the ability. Absolutely, no one's fighting that, but you have to have some type of decorum here, guys.
He's in the middle of a primary election. There's a gubernatorial election in November in New Jersey, so he's running against other Democrats. A lot of people might not know his name, but now a lot of people will after this. He says that all of these things are not being done legally at that facility. What do you say?
We wouldn't have been able to have anyone legally in that facility without the permits. And one thing that I really find strikingly odd in this case is the mayor was elected in 2014. In 2014, Delaney Hall was open. There were immigration detainees there at that time. At no time under President Obama did he want to go ahead and have a protest. But yet now he makes a political stunt like this. And, he also made the comments he wasn't there to protest, but he'd been there all week. So there's that.
So that's from the mayor. Here's from AOC on camera too. Watch.
If anyone's breaking the law in this situation, it's not members of Congress, it's the Department of Homeland Security. It's people like Tom Homan and Secretary Kristi Noem. You lay a finger on them, we are going to have a problem.
You can address that comment. That's the way we rolled it. Also want to
finger
know
on who?
How many people are in this specific facility? What are they accused of? Who's there?
So currently at the Delaney Hall facility is 152
worst of the worst,
detainees. 75% of them are convicted of a crime or pending criminal charges. people that are in there, the crimes that they're accused of, rape,
Yep.
child molestation, fentanyl trafficking, murder, wire fraud. These aren't the people you want in your neighborhoods. These are the people that are the worst of the worst that ICE are out there arresting, putting their lives in line every day. And to address that comment, under the leadership of Secretary Noem and President Trump, we are out there doing what the American people want, and that is getting these public safety threats off the street so they're not out there to reoffend again.
This morning you were with Rachel Campos Duffy, and you were giving a little bit of a tour. What do you hope to try to show people in terms of the transparency that these members of Congress say they want? So you are providing it.
Right, and you know, I was really happy to have the opportunity to kind of pull back that curtain and let people see exactly what's going on. ICE detention standards are some of the highest in the business. And when you come and you see what the facility actually looks like, I think the American people will be shocked. We've heard all sorts of things, from inhumane treatment, no food, phones not working, and that's just not the case.
How many more can be taken to this facility in Newark?
So that facility in Newark can hold up to 1,000.
Up to it. Do you expect that to fill up?
Yes.
No, I do, especially now that we're having more cooperation with sanctuary jurisdictions. I think one thing for the Northeast, there isn't a lot of brick and mortar jails or detention facilities actually cooperate with ICE. So we have to travel to other parts of the country. You know, it puts my officers and agents more flying time. We're not out there actually doing what we're tasked to do. And it's also bringing these detainees and these aliens away from, you know, their legal teams and their families. So
we got to run, but how long before that facility in particular is filled, do you think?
I think you'll see it in the coming months. I think the more cooperation we're getting with ICE now that local law enforcement is assisting us, I think you'll see that.
All right, we're going to stay in.
All right, guys. It definitely is very good that some of these sanctuary cities are actually coming to the table and deciding that it's in the best interest, specifically of the American population, the ones who basically voted Trump in what feels to be a moderate landslide here, guys. You know, they're helping. They're attempting to aid, at least, right? I'm still not sure too much about Chicago or Denver right now, but either way, New York, congratulations, guys, right? But now here's the next thing: you cannot, under any circumstance, walk up to, regardless of who you are, okay, regardless of whoever you are, you cannot walk up, all right, to a high security facility and just expect to be let in. Like, you know, you can't do that here. In the sake of decorum and handling things like adults, I think the smartest thing would have been, hey, listen, we're coming here. We have oversight. We can come in here and do these things. They absolutely do, right? We're going to come in here. We're going to check this facility out today. Call, guys, right? Like, don't just be at a protest and then say, you know what? We're just going to walk in the building because we can. You did this on purpose. Right? You wanted a moment in the limelight. That's what you wanted. You wanted that. You wanted your name known outside of your jurisdiction. That's it, guys. It's petty. It's ridiculous. And again, I don't blame them for not allowing them in. Then obviously the entire incident, now that we have like the body cam footage, that does not make you look good, bro. It doesn't. It makes you look terrible, bro. All right. But either way, listen, let me know in the comments what you guys think. You guys all have an absolutely amazing day. Enjoy your day thoroughly.